Well, I'm Andy Allen and I'm the Director of Operations at CTSI. I manage a host of contracts, mostly funded by government, and one of those contracts, the European Consumer Centre, is here today exhibiting. We are here to raise awareness, particularly amongst enforcers and other advice agencies of our service. Other than that, I'm here to answer questions and build relationships on behalf of the Institute.
What is the relationship of the UK ECC to trading standards?
The basic function of the European Consumer Centre is to give advice to consumers who've bought products and goods overseas in the EU. We record the nature of those complaints, so the connection here is the collection of data, the use of the data. There are enforcers here that find that useful. We're involved in various projects with various partners here, and obviously this sort of event allows us to explore future partnerships.
One of the key themes of the symposium has been the value of trading standards, and particularly being able to demonstrate it. What, from your perspective, is that value?
Yeah, I think for me, I think trading standards is one of those services you don't know how good it is, which is why it's good. You would know if it wasn't there. If we didn't have a trading standards service for any length of time, we would understand the difference and how good our current arrangements are. I think as an advice agency, we come across, a lot of complaints will be fairly standard, things that every day people have, problems with cars, problems with TVs, problems with flight booking or whatever. But we also come with some really sad stories of people have been personally injured, people have lost their life savings. I had one the other day, a lady had lost £260,000 to a scam. So there is the reason we don't have too much of a problem because the trading standards service does exist, but there's still work to do, and you still are reminded occasionally of where it can still go wrong.
What do you think needs to be done to protect the trading standards landscape now and in the future?
I think the big issues that face the profession, one is funding. The service has shrunk greatly over the years the last few years we've had austerity, and obviously there are bigger and more high-profile projects out there. We have discussions about cutting defence, cutting police. The cut in trading standards is not going to be anywhere near the top of that list. So funding is an issue. I also think relevance. It's as I said, it's a victim of its own success because people are able to buy goods and services and not have a problem. They don't understand how that is being supported behind the scenes by the service.
The government says that public safety is its #1 priority, but as you say, there's a problem here, which is that they won't know what they've got till it's gone.
Yes.
Do you think the government underestimates the work that needs to be done to protect consumers?
Yes, I think this event shows the main purpose of this event for many of the attendees is to access training, access updates, and there's a lot of work and a lot of cost involved in that. And the profession is 40% smaller than it was, and it's very hard to introduce economies of scale to make sure it's supported and able to continue to deliver those functions that do protect consumers. The product safety issue, I've been through that training myself. It takes years to have the training and the experience to make a difference in that area, and those years and the services that provide that experience and training cost.
What would you like to see happen from the perspective of the UK ECC to the trading standards profession over the next few years?
I think we have a key role to play in the whole Brexit scenario. Consumer protection in the UK has definitely benefited from EU membership. The legislation has increasingly strengthened the hand of the consumer. There are better mechanisms now for the consumer to use those rights, access those rights. And the first thing I think is that in the near future is to protect that stance so that we don't go backwards. The consumer maintains the same strength of position and has the same access to justice as well. It's that same access to enforce their rights.